Hello and thanks for joining me, your Sport Pilot James Glory, on another exciting episode of Sport Vibe on DNTWOK. We'll bring you exciting and latest sport happenings across the world of sports every Tuesday. As is our tradition to do this. This week won't be an exception, so I would implore you to please stay tuned because we'll be right back shortly after this break. Welcome back. It's a beautiful Tuesday, starting from the transfer world. As you know, the transfer window has been open for a while and so many clubs have been involved in signing and selling of players across the transfer window. In Europe, it's an interesting transfer window for Liverpool, who has secured the signing of another striker. We talk about Ugo Ekitike after pulling off the deal. You remember that Liverpool were also interested in signing Alexander Isak to increase their power points up front ahead of the 2025-2026 season, but right now they have decided to go ahead to sign the Frenchman, the 22-year-old Frenchman, and the person of Ugo Ekitike to leave their front line. You will also remember that they still have the likes of Darwin Núñez in that particular squad. Liverpool are trying everything possible to retain the Premier League title that they just won in the previous season, with Manchester City also buying so many players, and the transfer window is going to be an interesting one to watch out for in the Premier League between these two in the Premier League. But you can take nothing away from Chelsea Football Club also, that has secured signings of so many players and they are looking forward to selling Nicolas Jackson. Do you think the 100 million clause on Nicolas Jackson is a fair price? Chelsea Football Club is asking for 100 million to get Nicolas Jackson sold to any football club. Chelsea has been good in selling and buying players recently, but do you think Nicolas Jackson worth that amount? And you know that Manchester United are also in search for a striker. Could it be a right one for Manchester United to go and get Nicolas Jackson? As a football fans, I have nothing against Nicolas Jackson, but I think he does not fit into the Manchester United squad. But what is your opinion over Nicolas Jackson and Manchester United looking for strikers in the Premier League? You can comment below at the comment section and let us know what are your takes on which striker Manchester United should get next at the transfer window. They have been linked to so many strikers. You remember that at some point they were linked to Victor Osimhen, who has now completed his move to Galatasaray from Napoli. He'll be playing for Galatasaray next season, and in fact the release clause on Victor Osimhen is that he won't be sold to any other Italian club in 2 years. From Galatasaray is going to be a great one for Victor Osimhen, who loves Galatasaray and will be playing in the Turkish league. Manchester United are also linked to Benjamin Sesko, which was formerly linked to Arsenal Football Club, as Arsenal has decided to pressure and get the signature of Victor Gyökeres, who has scored over 50 goals last season. Will be a bonus and a plus to Arsenal Football Club, who needs a striker. Maybe that would help them to challenge for the Premier League. But Manchester United are still back after securing the signature of Mbeumo. They still need to sign a striker, but me, as a football fan and as a football lover, I would advise Manchester United to go for a midfielder to strengthen their midfield for the likes of Casemiro and Ugarte. The tire legs in the Manchester United midfield could cost them in the Premier League next season. What are your takes on the transfer windows? What are the players you think your team should buy in the transfer windows? As the transfer window is open from now till September, what are the signings you are looking to get out of your team? Who are the players you want to take into your team? And talking about going out and players moving from club to club, we talk about Marcus Rashford, who has sealed a loan move to Barcelona. Remember, Barcelona at some point were looking to sign Luis Diaz. They were looking to sign Nico Williams, but this time around they had to settle for what they have. And to me, I think it's a win-win situation for Marcus Rashford and Barcelona, as Marcus Rashford will now be playing on the left wing for Barcelona next season. It's a full season loan for the 2025-2026 season for Marcus Rashford, who is out of the plans for Ruben Amorim. Marcus Rashford will be playing for the Spanish giant next season, and let's see if he will be able to reignite his career at the Spanish club, particularly in Barcelona, where he'll be playing against the likes of Atletico Madrid and Real Madrid in the Spanish La Liga. Manchester United are still looking to sell the likes of Jadon Sancho. They are still looking to pull a string that will get Anthony out of the club so that they'll be able to get so many players, as they have only been able to sign 2 players in the transfer window. We talk about Matheus Cunha, who made his debut against Leeds United, where Manchester United only played a goalless draw, and they have signed Mbomo, who will be going with them on the preseason tour as the season continues. Quickly, let's go on a very short break, and when we're right back, we'll continue from where we stopped.
JK Royal Signatures, a blend of African fabric.
Welcome back, and still talking football. It's all about football this week as we talk about the Euro 2025 that is going on, where we saw England making it through to the semi-finals of the competition. England are on the verge of winning the Euros for the second time, but they will still need to defeat Italy to proceed to the finals of that particular competition. England are on the verge of proceeding to the finals of the Euros 2025 in the women's category, as they will be taking on Italy tonight in the world of football. Will England be able to defeat Italy to proceed to the finals of the competition, where they will be facing either Germany or Spain in that particular encounter? You remember that Spain were able to defeat the host country, where we talk about Switzerland. They were able to dominate them and win them in a 2-0 victory in the quarterfinals of the competition. And also, you take nothing away from Germany, will be facing Spain in the semi-finals of the Human Euros. Remember also that Germany were also able to defeat France on penalty shootouts. Even though Germany were given a early red card, they were able to drag the match into a penalty shootout, where they were eventually able to defeat France in the quarterfinals to set up a semi-finals between them and Spain. It's going to be an interesting one to watch out for between the German machine and the Spanish giant in the semi-final of the Human Euros. Is going to be an interesting one. Also, talking about the African Cup of Nations, Nigeria are through to the semi-finals of the African Cup of Nations after defeating Zambia 5-0 in the quarter-final match. I believe Nigeria has not scored all the goals that they will be needed to proceed to the finals of the competition. Remember that Nigeria has not been firing all the cylinders in the competition, but in the quarterfinals they were able to defeat Zambia 5-0 to set up a semi-final match between them and the South African team. Is going to be a one to look out for, as Nigerians are setting their eyes on getting into finals of the African Cup of Nations women category, as either of the winner between Nigeria and South Africa will be taking on the winner between Ghana and Morocco in the finals of the African Cup of Nations. Nigerians can do this very well, as they'll be playing this evening in the world of football. Let's see if they'll be able to proceed to the finals of the African Cup of Nations, where I will be rooting for the women's team to win the trophy as a Nigerian. That I am a proud one for that fact, and I will be rooting for Nigeria to win that particular one in the finals as a proud Nigerian citizen. I will be hoping that they'll be able to make us proud in the finals of the African Cup of Nations to win that. It's going to be an interesting one to see Nigeria winning that particular tournament in the world of football. And also talking about the world of boxing, the heavyweight undisputed champion. We'll talk about Alexander Usyk defeating Daniel Dubois on Sunday to win that tournament for the third time. He is the undisputed champion in the world of boxing, who will be defeating Alexander Usyk, who has proven to be stubborn and proven to be a force to reckon with in the world of boxing. Remember that Daniel Dubois at some point was able to defeat our very own Anthony Joshua, but Anthony Joshua being defeated by Daniel Dubois does not mean that Daniel Dubois was able to defeat Alexander Usyk, who is now the champion and the world undisputed champion in the world of boxing. And this is the length at which we'll be going on this week's episode of Sport Vibe on DNTWOK. For more news and sports stories, follow us across our various social media handles at Sport Vibe on DNTWOK. Remain a law-abiding citizen. Enjoy your week. Thank you.